I do not tell you this story because I heard it from someone else. No, I tell it because I was there. I saw it with my own eyes, and even now, though many seasons have passed, I still remember the way the wind carried her whispers to the trees, how the birds gathered as though listening to a spirit from another world. Her name was Imara. She was born on the day the Harmattan winds arrived, and the elders believed that was why she never spoke. From the moment she entered the world, not a single cry left her lips. Her mother, Nyambura, held her close, praying that the spirits had not cursed her child with silence. But as the seasons turned and Imara grew, it became clear that she was different. Not only did she not speak, but she seemed to live in a world separate from the rest of us. While the other children played by the river, chasing each other through the tall grass, Imara would sit beneath the baobab tree, eyes turned toward the sky. The birds would come. First, the small sparrows, then the bright yellow weaver birds, and sometimes even the great hornbill. They would perch on the branches above her, tilting their heads as if listening to something only they could hear. The villagers called her Matemiwandege, the one who rules the birds. Most people feared her. They said a child who does not speak is a child who does not belong. When she tried to help at the market, the traders waved her away. When she carried firewood for the elders, they whispered among themselves, wondering if her silence meant bad luck. Only her mother believed in her, though even she sometimes worried about what would become of her daughter. Then, one dry season, a great trouble came upon our village. It began when the river shrank, its water turning as thin as a dying man's breath. The fish that fed us disappeared, and soon after, the crops in our fields withered under the scorching sun. Livestock grew weak, and the elders gathered beneath the meeting tree, their voices filled with worry. "We must seek the wisdom of the spirits," said Chief Baraka, an old man whose hair was as white as the foam on the river's edge. "The gods are angry. We must send a sacrifice," the people murmured in agreement. In times of hardship, the village had always offered something to the spirits: a goat, a basket of grain, sometimes even a calf. But this time, the village was too poor to spare anything. "It is said," spoke one of the elder women, "that when a child is born under the Harmattan winds and does not speak, she carries a message from the spirits. Maybe the girl knows why we suffer." At this, everyone turned to Imara. Her mother clutched her wrist tightly, but the chief's eyes had already settled on the silent girl. "Bring her to the shrine," he commanded. "Let her speak to the spirits." But how could she speak when she had no voice? The people would not listen. They dragged her to the sacred grove, where the great stones stood in a circle, marking the place where the ancestors were said to walk. The elders burned incense and chanted prayers, waiting for a sign. Imara stood quietly in the center, her bare feet pressing against the earth. She looked up to the sky, her dark eyes searching the horizon. And then, before anyone could stop her, she let out a sound. Not words, no, but something else. A soft whistle, a melody that carried through the air like wind through the reeds. The village fell silent. Then, from the trees, the birds came. Hundreds of them. Sparrows, weaver birds, starlings, doves, even the great fish eagle that rarely left the river. They circled above her, filling the air with their cries, and as they did, something miraculous happened. A great wind rose, sweeping through the trees, carrying with it the scent of rain. In the distance, dark clouds gathered over the hills. The people gasped. Some fell to their knees. They had asked for a message from the spirits, and here it was, delivered not in words, but in the language of the sky. By nightfall, the rain had come, heavy and cleansing, washing away the dust and bringing life back to the village. The river swelled once more. The crops drank deeply, and the animals stirred with new strength. The people rejoiced, dancing and singing praises to the spirits. But Imara, she simply stood there, watching as the birds took to the sky once more, their work done. From that day on, no one called her cursed. No one turned her away at the market, nor whispered behind her back. Instead, they bowed their heads when they passed her, their eyes filled with something close to awe. She never spoke a single word in all her years, but it did not matter. The village had finally learned to listen.